Hi, I'm Rob. I've been a guitar player for about 45 years and a bass player in a blues band for 8 to 10. So I've always given lessons over the years, and I've toyed with the idea of doing some lessons online. I thought I could use some of the approach that I've found work best. So I've decided to start with some bass lessons, which I'm calling 50 easy bass lines you need to know. A lot of this will be 12-bar blues, so I'm going to teach you the basic patterns that make up this style. This is one of the things you should master to quickly be jamming with your friends or with a looping machine like I'm using here. So in this lesson we're going to start from scratch. We'll review the 12-bar chord progression and then start with some easy bass walks. I'll teach you how to create some of your own bass patterns. Don't forget that in these videos, any chart you see you can download on our website, webguitarmethod.com. Let's get started. Now, because this is a beginner lesson, we're going to start from scratch here. Just quickly a review that the strings on a bass guitar, I'll be calling 1, 2, 3, and 4, the first, second, third, and fourth string. And my fingers will be called 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just for any of the real beginners out there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is really important to try to stretch those fingers out. But I'll show you some exercises later in another video that'll help you attain that. So here's a chart of the guitar neck with some of the terms I'll be using for you real beginners. Remember, you can download any of these charts on our website, webguitarmethod.com. If you don't already know the notes on the bass fretboard, this chart will help. It only shows the natural notes, no sharps or flats. It's just so that it's easier to read. For blues, I find it's very important to memorize the first 3 markers at the 3rd and the 5th and the 7th frets, and on the top 3rd and 4th strings. So, blues, 12-bar blues is exactly what it sounds like. It is 12 bars of music that recycles over again. This chart shows how 12 bars of music are played. If you don't already know this, 1 bar is the space between each vertical line with 4 strokes or beats in each bar. The start of each bar is indicated on the chart as the circled numbers. All added together, they equal 12 bars. Now let's talk about the major music scale. First of all, it's important for you to know your scale. Your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's the major scale. If we start in A, which is the second dot on this 4th string here, we call that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And so, for the purposes of following this video, we have to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are 8 notes in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now on this chart, figure number 1 shows you the major scale I'm playing in A, on the 4th string at the 5th fret. I'm planting my second finger on that root and playing down the strings in order to sound out do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's shown in figure 2. So study and practice this to get familiar with it. You can pause this video at any time to study the chart if you like, or download it, like I say, on webguitarmethod.com. So here, I'll play it again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now figure 3 shows that the scale can also be called out or named as 1 to 8 in Roman numerals. And this is important because there's a couple of ways we can use that, and I'll explain that a little later. We call them out in Roman numerals, so remember there's a couple of different ways we can use this. So our chords are labeled the same way. If I'm saying I want to use a 1 chord, and you can look at the chart for this, a 1 chord is the first note of the scale, 1. And for blues, you want 1, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 4 chord. 1 chord and the 4 chord. And the 5 chord is the next one up. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This chart shows the 1, 4, and 5 chord positions in double circles as they sit in the A major scale. This is how you know which rhythm chord to be playing your bass riff in at any given time. Here we see the 1, 4, and 5 positions pulled out of the A major scale. These are now our root chord positions for playing 12 bars of music. The whole purpose of this is to be able to move or transpose the chord sequence anywhere on the fretboard, with only knowing the starting key of that song. You only need to know if it's in key of A, key of G, key of D, doesn't matter. Just move your root to that point. So these are the 3 chords we're going to use, a 1, 4, and a 5. It's often written that way for you to follow, and that way you can move it anywhere on the neck and it's still the same thing. In G, it's 1, 4, 5. It's the same thing, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5. So 12-bar blues is 4 bars of the first chord, which is our 1 chord. So if I was just to play a basic rhythm, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 bars in that first chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go to the 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 in that. So our sequence is, in the 1 chord we do 4, the 4 chord we do 2, back to the 1 chord for 2, then we go to the 5 chord for 1, and the 4 chord for 1, back to the 1 chord for 1, and end off in the 4 chord for 1. And you can see that on the chart. That's the best way to learn it and follow it if you don't already know this. Now this is where web guitar method comes in. I didn't invent this, it's just what I have found is very important to know because many blues bands that I've sat in with use this Roman numeral method to communicate what they will be playing. And if you can learn this, you can sit in and jam with the best of them. Now this chart is the same 12 bars as played in the earlier A, D, E chart. But the note letters A, D, and E have been replaced by Roman numerals 1, 4, and 5, as they match the original notes in the A major scale. Now you can start anywhere on the fretboard when the band tells you their song key. This is important because your whole purpose as a bass player is to follow or support the rhythm player, whether they be guitars or keyboards, or both, by playing notes that match up with the musical chord they are playing at that time. And they may often give you charts that use Roman numerals to indicate what chord they are playing, as I'm showing on the bottom of this chart. I wrote this in by hand purposely because this is the kind of thing they give you. So if I follow the 12 bars through, you'd see this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, 12 bars. 4 there, 2 there, and then 2, 1, 1 back. So when you're using those chords, bass players do bass walks in that chord. We start from the root. We can do a walk there. And then I'll go, that's in the first chord. In the 4 chord, same thing. Back. Then we go to the 5 chord. 4 chord. 5 chord, or 1 chord. End off. So you can build your own walks. A very simple, easy bass walk is just and then you change. So you use the root, and it's all part of the scale here. You're using the 1, 2, 3, using the 3rd note of the scale. And you're using the 5 note of the scale, the 6th note. So we're just going 1. Gotta get this right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 5, 6. This chart shows my 1, 3, 5, 6 bass walk in all 3 chord positions. When you change your root, along with the rhythm players in the band, you use the major scale for that new root, or starting position. It plays like this. 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6. We start again. So that's a very basic blues walk. And so it's just playing a G, and then a D flat, and then an E, and what's this? A G flat. Just those 3 notes, and we're using 3 different strings. So if you can't spread your hand like I am doing right now at first, you can just go like. Now remember, the point of these Roman numerals really is that it can be used 2 different ways. You can use them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in your major scale, and that will let you build riffs from that, and it's a way of naming the riffs as you go. But completely separate from that, on a chord chart, the Roman numerals are used as positions for chords, or for a bass player, the root starting mark. Give that a try. So to review, the 12 bar, as you can see on the chart, is a 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. And that's the chords that the guitar player will be playing. So you need to stay in those positions at that time in the 12 bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I hope that helps. Please subscribe if you like this video and if it helped you at all. I know some of it was quite beginning, but we're going to move on and get advanced in some of these walks. We're going to learn some different styles of music. The blues walk can be used in rock and country, funk, jazz. There's different walks, different keys we can talk about. Very often it changes just with the drum beat. that makes you feel different when you play it. So I'll be uploading some more videos pretty quick here, so try and follow it. Thank you. Thank you for watching.